This episode of Hydro Show is sponsored by Hydromag, the UK's independent hydroponics magazine.
Now, before we end this week's show, we visited Wortley Hydroponics in Leeds, where Nico and Dean went through some different extraction fans.
Okay, so we're here with Dean in Wortley Hydroponics in Leeds, and we have a selection of fans to go through to see which sort of fan you'd use in which application and why.
Yep.
So yeah, if we want to start having a look at the system here, RVK.
Yeah, Nico, this RVK 8-inch, this model is very run-of-the-mill fan, German-made, engineering is really good, it won't let you down, and I'd recommend a 2 to 3 light grow room.
Where does it sort of sit compared to the other sort of fans on the market?
Yeah, there are a lot of fans on the market, all varying in different prices, but for a standard RVK 8-inch, you're looking at about £100.
Okay, so that's the RVK fan. I've brought along the Hyper fan, which is a new fan that's going to be distributed through HID for the new year.
Right.
It's a similar sort of motor that's set in the Isomax fans. It's using, you know, similar sort of fan to how they're moving the air, and it's a DC current operated motor.
Right.
And a high pressure motor as well. So generally you'll get higher pressure than you will compared to your sort of equivalent RVK fans.
Explain a little bit more about this. I mean, it looks smaller than the RVKs. I'm assuming that's a 6-inch fan.
This one's a 6-inch, yeah, because it's a turbine motor. It's going straight through 6-inch, so it looks like a lot smaller unit.
Right.
Goes in line with your ducting, obviously. It actually comes with a manual speed controller on as well that you can plug into it.
Ah, right, yeah. So what's the sort of air movement from this fan then, Nico?
With this fan, it's more, with the 6-inch, is slightly under the RVK, what the RVK's rated, the high-powered RVK's rated
Right.
at. But the pressure that it can cope with is higher, so when it comes to moving it around ducting bends or through filters, you'll generally get a lot better pressure with the Hyper fan.
Right. What is the sort of price difference between this new Hyper fan and the RVK fan?
It's similar in the difference with the Tornadoes to the RVKs. They haven't, because it's not been released yet, they haven't got the official price, but it's going to be pitched at around the similar sort of price mark as the Isomax and the Tornadoes are. I guess we move now to the Solar and Palau fan. Probably the main competitor to the Isomax in terms of looks and what they claim to do on the market. They're both silence fans.
Yeah.
Main difference is obviously the looks of it. It's a plastic housed unit. It comes with these 2 spigots here, so it's easy to get a good seal with your ducting around. You can remove the centre of the fan when it comes to cleaning it without taking it out of your ducting. You can just unclip the central part of the fan. Right.
I am assuming that these are going to be quite quiet then.
Yeah, they are really quiet. That's what they're pitched as, basically, as a silent fan.
Right.
And move a good amount of air.
Yeah, and what sort of price would you be looking at on one of these then, a 6-inch fan?
6-inch one, it'll be around the £200 mark again.
Right.
It's pitched at 580, I think it moves, 580 metres cubed, the Solar and Palau moves. Although it has 2 speed settings, so you can wire it to a lower speed setting if you don't need the full capacity.
So it would be perfect for a 2 light grow room?
Yeah, it'd be ample for that, yeah. So, obviously we've gone through the features of the Solar and Palau a little bit there. Like we were saying, compared to the RVKs, they're a lot more money.
Yeah.
How do you think that would go down in the sort of marketplace?
It depends really. I mean, everybody's strapped for cash these days, so they do want the silent air movement, but you know, are they prepared to pay £200 for a fan that will be totally silent, you know, or rather choose again a budget line fan?
Wortley Hydroponics, a new hydroponics superstore in Leeds.
Open 7 days a week.
Wortley Hydroponics.
Growing success.
Visit www.wortleyhydroponics.co.uk. Find us on Facebook and YouTube.
Following on from the S&P then, we've got the Isomax fan just next to it. Similar cylindrical looking fan. Again, I've brought this one with me here. It works with the turbine-based motor, has the impellers to direct the air out more. It's quite small parts of it, but it's quite worth mentioning. These 2 little bits here make it really easy to mount and install and hang up in your room.
Yeah.
Might sound like a bit of a small feature, but it makes a big difference when it comes to installing it.
Yeah. I can see this is an 8-inch fan again. I mean, would people struggle to maybe get this in a, say, a 1.2 metre tent, you know, with the filter on as well?
It can be it can be a concern. You know, if you're in a
Yeah.
1.2 metre tent, you need your fan and your filter. You might have to think about possibly having the fan outside or rearranging it somehow so you
Right.
can fit it in. But yeah, certainly in a small space, obviously with the length of it, it could
Yeah.
cause you issues. But
And again, we come back to pricing. I mean, are these a lot more expensive than, say, your average RVK fan?
again, yeah, you're going to be looking at least double the price.
Right. What I did notice about this one, Nico, is it has a speed controller with it.
It does,
So
yep.
you've got 3 speeds.
Yep.
Obviously, in the winter months, you know, you can lower it down so you're not making your grow room too cold.
Indeed, yeah.
Obviously, in the summer months, you can make the fan run a lot quicker,
Yep.
moving more air and cooling your air that you require.
Yeah, and obviously it's a lot easier to do that with the controller than having to rewire the fan. Like you can get a lower speed setting on the solar and Palau, but you need to wire it to that setting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been through these 4 fans here, and we've got the box fan from Tornado at the end here, which you're a bit more familiar with. Do you want to talk us through the features of that?
Yeah, Tornado's box fan. This is a 10-inch version.
Right.
They claim it'll move 1,500 air.
Mm-hmm.
They do an 8-inch version, which will move 1,000 air.
Yeah.
So a little bit more than the RVK does move, but
Yeah.
obviously reflects in the price.
Yeah.
For the air that they do move, they're relatively quiet.
Yeah. So you've got a box there with the insulation in, haven't you?
Yeah, they did send us a box to show us how they do insulate them.
Right.
Very, very well.
Right.
Obviously, to keep noise, if noise is going to be an issue,
Yeah.
then the box fan is also a good choice to have.
Right. And in terms of like mounting it, it looks a little bit like it could be a tricky one to mount up, do you? Is there
Yeah, they can be a little bit weighty. I'd not recommend you to hang it off of bars from a 1.2 metre tent, but
Right.
for the bigger greenhouses, I'd definitely get it on a bracket, on the wall,
Yeah.
nice and safe.
Right. Okay, so yeah, we've had a look at all the fans here in a bit of detail. So just to summarise, really, what sort of fan you'd use in what situation, and
Yeah.
why you choose one over another, essentially.
I'd definitely choose the RVK, you know, for the budget-wise, you know, for the money cost.
Yeah.
Obviously, if space is a premium, the Hyper fan is a lot smaller, so you're not reducing your space allowed in the grow room just for filtration.
And then obviously, if you needed a particularly quiet fans,
Yeah.
then you can.
Yeah, definitely straight towards the Isomax
Yeah.
and the SMP as well, you know, super silent and still remove the air that you require them to move.
Right. What if you really needed to move a lot of air in a big room, obviously? Which
Yeah, a lot of air. Obviously, the Tornado will move a lot of air. The price is a little bit more, but obviously you pay for what you get. But very, very quiet as well. Also, with the user with insulated ducting.
Yeah. So there you go. That's pretty much it. We've had a look at them all. Thanks very much for talking through them with us.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Yeah.
That is going in.
If you're looking for more information on ventilation and environment in the grow room, see issue 9 of our official magazine, Hydromag, available in May 2014.
This episode of Hydroshow is sponsored by Hydromag, the UK's independent hydroponics magazine.